Kembo, Kembo, Kembo. Glory, glory, glory to the Most High Tatan Zambi. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah Singer. It's a pleasure to come back to share new insights and new awarenesses and just to share, to be present. Um, as many of you may know from my past video, I have been away for a few years, for about 4 years now, traveling in East Africa, and I am finally ready to share a lot of what I have insight of, what I've learned, um, and to just share my 2 cents. So within this video and the next couple of videos, I'm just going to be dropping things of various different subject matters um, and just kind of filling you all in. And my hope and desire is that you would share, for many of you who've been watching my channel, just where you are. How are you in your awakening journey? Where has the Most High taken you, brought you from? Please share your testimony in the comments. I would love to hear, and also any suggestions for future videos or questions that you may have of, where I am or what I've gained from being here on the continent. I would really appreciate just hearing from you and getting your insight. So I want to take the opportunity to answer publicly some of the questions that I receive in comments and directly in general. A lot of people would like to know, do I still have contact with Pastor Mello or Brother Messiah or Brother Jonathan? And the answer is no. Not for any particular reason, simply because seasons change and journeys change. And that's simply the bottom line. There's no issue or no discourse. If I hear from them, if I have the opportunity to connect with them here on the continent, I will be glad and happy to connect. But have I kept any long-term kind of communication, or do I check in regularly with them? No, I don't. And that's honestly the reality with many other with many other YouTubers. I wish them well, and I just pray that they are truly in alignment with the Most High. I am grateful for the season and the opportunity that we had to connect, for them to impart their wisdom and just truly be positive examples and edify my journey and edify, what the Most High was teaching me through them. So I'm eternally grateful, and I give them honor and love. But the answer is no. I no longer have any ties or commitment or communication with them. So that's that. For any of you who wish to reach out to them, I encourage you to do so. If they've mentioned any of their contacts publicly, definitely email, reach out, pray for them, and just wish them well. So I'm also reminded of the fact that we each have a duration, a time, just a season to really share what the Most High has put on our hearts. And it's so vitally important that we are obedient in that way, in that season. Because like many of you have been impacted by them, our obedience has lives on the other end of it. And there are people waiting to receive the increase from what the Most High has told you to do. So that's simply why I'm really back here on this channel, because I feel like the Most High has imparted so much into me that I feel indebted to really sharing the truth and sharing everything that the Most High has given me to. So I'm happy to be that and to do that for you all. So yeah, and just knowing that one season comes to an end and the other one begins again. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know many of you are asking. I'm not ignoring you, but the answer is I don't really connect as I haven't connected. I don't connect since that season. So also regarding Ulolo Efwa, the nonprofit that I had desired to establish in previous seasons. And I will say that all of the money that was donated and collected went to an individual and their daughter to travel here to the continent, and they did do so successfully, and have since, from my understanding, returned back to the States. And for those of you who are questioning what Ulolo Efwa was a desire of mine to support those who were interested in visiting, relocating, or investing in the continent. It has not since continued, just because of multiple contributing factors regarding like paperwork and just all the ins and outs of establishing something concrete to really support others. So that is the answer to your questions of what happened with that, or did anyone receive any finances or any funds. So the answer is yes, they did receive the funds. They were here on the continent and have since returned. So I'm grateful for that, and just the support of you all seeing something worthy to invest in. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. But moving forward, in this video, I want to share spiritual lessons that I've learned on this journey. And four spiritual truths that I have learned within the last 4 years while being awakened to the truth, but living on the continent. So, the first one would be to listen. The land, the Mwanda Nsimi, our Tatanzambi, our Father, that speaks to us through His Spirit. To truly listen. I have heard the Father in various ways here that I don't think I ever have in previous seasons or in the States. And I always tell people the land here is the land of the OGs, the original gangsters, the original spirits of the ancestors, the original, the ones that walked with great authority, the spirits that walked amongst our ancestors. And I think it's fair to say, for most people who have either visited, the level of spiritual warfare that is present on the continent, the level of just spirituality in general, the spiritual presence that is felt here is on a completely different level than I would say is, within the diaspora. And so one of the greatest lessons that I learned while being here is specific to just the need to listen. I had a mentor at one point who would continuously ask me, what is the Most High saying right now? And he would ask often. And the purpose of him asking was to bring light to the fact that we should always be listening. And if the answer is I don't know, then we have to tune our heart and tune our ear to listen, to hear. And if not hear, to adhere to the last word that the Father had said. So that's a standout insight that I had throughout my time here. So 2 Corinthians 4:18 encourages us to look at the things that are unseen rather than the things that are seen. And I would argue that the things of the unseen will get you, focusing on the things that are unseen will get you so much further than focusing on the things that are seen. But simply being attuned to the things that are seen are indicators of the things that are unseen. Life here has been so nonlinear to the natural eye, and nonlinear to the things that are taught and socialized within the Western world. And because of that, I have learned to be more focused, more dependent on the voice of the Father, more dependent on the timing of the Father, and more dependent on listening. So that's why I think a standout maturity, a standout lesson, a standout experience of my journey has truly been to listen. So I share that with you in hopes that you will take that and apply it to your own life and save so much time and save so much heartache, because it's so true. It's so true. So moving on. Number two is, I'm looking at my notes, by the way. Number 2 is submission and stewardship. I have, within the 4 years, gotten married as well as have a beautiful child, a gift from the Most High, and have learned and am still learning submission and stewardship. But more specifically, the application of stewardship and submission, and understanding how the story of the men and the talents, and how that really applies to every season. I think when I was in singlehood, I, just thought with the single-minded idea of, if I don't feel like it, I don't want to, or I don't have to. In some areas, but just recognizing in the traditional sense submission and what that means, particularly in this marital or familial society, but also recognizing stewardship and the value of stewardship in a country that doesn't have a whole bunch of social services to fall back on, and truly the principle of what you sow, you will reap. And just understanding the value of sowing with intention, so that you receive with the same intention. I think often, it's scripturally, it's better to be a giver than a receiver. And essentially, you're a planter. You're planting prosperity, or planting the gifts that you desire in return. So anyways, I think that's in every regard, whether it be time, your finances, your relationships with people, and the way that you commit to them, the demeanor that you walk with, I have learned wholeheartedly just the idea of being a good steward. And what I mean by learned, I mean I've seen in effect. I've seen the outcome of poor stewardship. I have seen the benefits of good stewardship, even in the smallest of ways. And so it's an ongoing theme. I'm still growing, I'm still learning, but it's definitely a spiritual truth that I have experienced within this journey. Additionally, number 3, I would say, is vision. Having a vision. When you are in an environment where you don't necessarily have a familiar reference point for a, you don't have a reference point. It's not familiar, a culture that's not familiar. I think naturally you pay more attention to people and their mindsets and their ideas, and you're looking for a sense of connection. And so that in and of itself has allowed me to either connect or disconnect from individuals who have either had vision or lacked a similar vision, or in trying to connect with people, recognizing their mindset of, okay, I'm connecting with this person because we have similar insights or similar desire for the future, or I'm not connecting with this person because their vision is set on a different outcome than what I'm interested in. And so and that's in one sense. In another sense, I believe that I've seen the theme manifest that the Most High qualifies the called and calls the unqualified, simply for His vision. And being in alignment with the Most High's vision, knowing our gifts, knowing who we've been called to be, being able to discern the character, the voice of the Most High, has truly helped me to walk in obedience, but also has helped me to order my steps in the way, in the vision of the Most High's plan for my life. So truly adhering to the vision of the Most High, and seeing those patterns, familiarizing myself with the patterns of the Most High's vision throughout the Scripture, and His order, His law, and recognizing this is how the Most High operates. This is how He works. This is the examples that He has set in Scripture. And so taking that and applying that to everyday life and recognizing that it may not make sense, again, in a linear fashion according to Western standards or in accordance to what is familiar, but it's always going to make sense according to the ways in which, he operates, which is His laws, His statutes, His commandments, His principles. And that has just improved my discernment so much. It's saved me so much time, because His thoughts are not our thoughts, but we have the opportunity to allow His ways to become our ways. And I think that's what quote unquote discipleship is truly about, is the commitment to taking on the laws, taking on the values, taking up on the principles of the Most High, and just aligning every aspect of our lives with the Father's. So that was number 3. Number 4 is the recognition of the impact of our choice, the value of wisdom and understanding, the value of application, like I've been talking about. Galatians 6:7-8 emphasizes the importance of making decisions that please the Spirit and not the flesh. So with the vision of the Most High, with the insight of the Most High, with the discernment and the application of His truth, His laws, His statutes, His commandments, and again, stewardship, wisdom, the application of wisdom, stewardship, and submission, submitting to His plan, walking purposefully and intentionally with His plan. Number 4 I've learned the impact of choice, doing things that are edifying to the spirit rather than the flesh, and how simply they're a lot more rewarding. They're scary. They are, sometimes it feels as though there's no security net, or there is, it's the opposite of what we've been taught is worldly security. But I think that's another reason why here outside of the Western world, where there's so many systematic or physical forms of security, why you see such supernatural dependence. Spirituality is so much higher here on the continent, regardless of what you choose to submit your spirit to. And I think that's simply the reason, is because there are less opportunities for physical security, that individuals are forced to submit spiritually or forced to be spiritually dependent. So anyways, I hope that you have gained some level of insight, some level of something from this video. And I appreciate you all for listening. If you have any questions of anything, please comment and share just where you are, where you've been, how the Most High has impacted you within these last 4 years, or just in general, whatever you want to share. I look forward to sharing more specific insights with you all in upcoming videos, and I just pray the Most High continue to speak to you. I pray that you can hear His voice. I pray that you are discerning of the truth that is present around you. And I just pray that you are in a spirit of peace and a sound mind. So I look forward to seeing you in the comments or in the next video. See y'all. Have a good one. Bye-bye.